So many have closely followed this case and continue to ask and hope for updates. The FBI just issued a full synopsis of where things stand today. Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Hendersonville home on February 26, 2024.
Good evening, my friends. My name is Joseph. Thank you for being here with me. Tonight, we are going to talk about a very difficult subject. We are not going to look for a monster in the shadows. Instead, we are going to look for something even harder to find. We are going to look for proof. Our story is about a missing boy named Sebastian Rogers. It is a story that has broken hearts and divided a nation of people who watch from their screens. From the moment he vanished from his Tennessee home, the questions began. And with no easy answers, people made their own. Very quickly, the story split into two parts. The first part was the official search. The police, the helicopters, the volunteers walking through the cold. This part was quiet, and it gave no answers. The second part was the story told by the public. This story was loud. It was told in comments and videos and social media posts. In this story, there were clear villains and clear victims. In this story, people felt they knew the truth. The most common belief in this public story is that the parents, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, know what happened to their son. The second belief is that the police are not doing their job, either by failing to find the truth or by hiding it. These beliefs are shouted every single day. Hashtags like #arrest the Proudfoots and #Sumner County cover-up are like digital battle cries. People point to the parents' interviews, saying they did not act the right way for grieving people. They point to a light that turned on in the house at 3 in the morning, long after Sebastian was gone. They say these things are proof. But tonight, I want to ask a different question. A simple, but very dangerous question. What if we are wrong? I am not asking if the parents are innocent. I am not asking if the police are perfect. I am asking us to look at our own certainty. I am asking us to look at the space between what we feel and what we can actually prove. Let us imagine we are in a real courtroom. Not the court of public opinion, but a quiet room with a judge and a jury. To arrest someone, the police must have what is called probable cause. It means they need real, factual evidence that a specific person likely committed a specific crime. To convict someone, a prosecutor must provide proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So I ask you, and I ask myself, if we were the prosecutor in that quiet room, what evidence would we bring to the stand? Would we bring the fact that a mother sounded calm in an interview? Grief does not have a script. Shock can make a person seem empty. What sounds like coldness to one person may sound like complete devastation to another. A feeling about someone's behavior is not evidence. It is an opinion. Would we bring the story of a light turning on at 3 a.m.? It is strange, yes. But a strange event is not a crime. Without knowing who turned on the light or why, it is just a mysterious moment. It is a single puzzle piece that fits no picture. Would we bring the fact that the stepfather was out of town that night? Or that the mother called her husband before she called the police? These are details of a terrible night. A defense attorney would say they are the normal, frantic actions of terrified people. They are circumstances, not proof of guilt. Now, let's talk about the police. The public cry is loud. The police aren't doing their job. People say this because the police are not giving updates. They are not speaking to the family. They seem silent. But let me tell you another story. In the case of the 4 college students who were killed in Idaho, the police did not speak to the victims' families for weeks. The families held press conferences, begging for information, angry at the silence. Yet, during all that quiet, the police were building a massive, careful case against the man they believed did it. The silence was not laziness. It was focus. A lack of communication is not proof of a lack of action. It might be proof of the opposite. So we have 2 powerful public beliefs. 1, that the parents are guilty. 2, that the police are failing. And when we look for the solid proof to hold these beliefs up, we find our hands are mostly empty. We have a mountain of feelings, but only a handful of facts. This leads us to the true, terrifying heart of the mystery. The one fact no one can explain. How did Sebastian Rogers leave his home? Think about it. A person cannot just disappear. To leave a house, you must open a door or a window. You must walk across the ground. These actions leave evidence. They leave fingerprints, or footprints, or a trail of scent that a dog can follow. In another case, a little girl with autism left her home in the night. It was a tragedy. But the police dogs found her trail. They could follow the path she took from her door all the way to the water. They knew how she left, and they understood why. In Sebastian's case, there is no trail. There is no path. It is as if he was in his room one moment, and in the next moment, he was nowhere on earth. This is not just mysterious. It feels impossible. Our minds cannot accept an impossible thing. So we fill the empty space with an explanation we can understand. We think, if he didn't leave on his own, then someone must have made him disappear. Someone must have cleaned up the trail. The total lack of evidence becomes, in our minds, the very evidence of a crime. But can we prove that? Can we prove that the clean exit was the work of another person? Or could it be a tragic, bizarre exception to every rule? The very thing that makes us most suspicious is the one thing we cannot prove. This is where we are stuck. This is the cliffhanger. There are two ways this can go, and both of them are unsettling. The first way is that the police know everything. They have the evidence we do not. They have a fingerprint, or a text message, or a piece of video, or a witness we have never heard of. They are moving slowly and quietly because they are building a perfect, unbreakable case. They are waiting for one final piece. In this version, the parents' freedom is not proof of their innocence. It is a sign of the investigation's great patience and strength. The truth is coming, and it will be undeniable. The second way is the true nightmare. It is that the police know almost nothing. They have exactly what we have, a terrible mystery and a world of suspicion with no center. Every lead has gone cold. Every person they look at has a story that cannot be broken. The only real clue might be the report from the cadaver dogs that we talked about before, and even that is tangled in problems. They cannot make an arrest because, despite what millions of people believe, the real, factual evidence to do it simply does not exist. In this version, the system is not corrupt. It is lost. The truth may be forever out of reach. A family lives under a cloud not because the state is building a case, but because the state has no case to build. My friends, I do not know which of these is true. I cannot tell you if the parents are guilty or innocent. I cannot tell you if the police are heroes or failures. What I can tell you is this: we have all been in the courtroom of public opinion for a long time. We have heard the shouts and the accusations. We have seen the theories. But tonight I am asking us to step out of that noisy room for a moment. I am asking us to walk into the quiet, empty courtroom of facts. To look at the witness stand and see that it is bare. Our desire for answers is powerful and human. But we must be careful not to let that desire become its own truth. We must have the courage to look at what we know, and to admit what we do not. The greatest mystery in the Sebastian Rogers case may no longer be what happened to him. The greatest mystery may be what exists in the closed files of the investigation. Is it a folder full of proof, waiting for its moment? Or is it a folder full of questions, with no answers at all? We are all waiting for someone to walk into that quiet room, to the empty stand, and to place down a single, solid piece of truth. What will that truth be? And when will it finally arrive? My friends, this is a hard journey. It is easier to choose a side than to live in the uncertain middle. But the middle is where the truth usually lives. Thank you for thinking about this with me. If you want to continue this search for clarity, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell. When there is a real break in this case, a piece of undeniable evidence, we will be here to look at it together, not with anger, but with a careful mind. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the police are silently building a case? Or do you fear they are facing a perfect mystery with no solution? The story of Sebastian Rogers is caught between what the world feels and what the world can prove. Our job is not to judge before the trial. Our job is to hope, fiercely, for the evidence that will finally bring his story to an end. This is Joseph, signing off for now. May we all have the strength to seek the light, even when it seems very far away. Good night.